real estate enthusiast. So I wanted to hop in today and talk about mindset. So many of you have probably heard, your biggest asset is your mind. And it's so true. And unfortunately, our mind is used in everyday thing, not just work. And so it can get, molded and broken and shifted in many different ways. Because our mind controls our emotions for our personal life, our self-care, our company, our relationships, and everything. And so our mind is the most powerful tool that we have, and we need to nurture it, and we need to be aware of it, and we need to be careful with it, because when you are in commercial real estate, you get rejected a lot. You spend months and months, years and years on a deal to make it work, and it doesn't work. There's a lot of outside force that can affect a deal actually going through. And it's very easy to get down on yourself because one, it's taking your time. Two, it's taking your emotions. Three, it is taking your money. So when you align a lot of those different aspects, it is very easy to start to spiral and question and get frustrated and have other emotions come up that are negative because of what it takes to get a commercial real estate deal done. So I wanted to come in here and kind of provide hopefully some encouragement, some advice on mindset and your why, and kind of just really getting back to the basics, and hopefully provide a little guidance on if you haven't done your first deal, do not give up. If you're a couple deals in and it's bumpy, also do not give up. So first, I'm going to go into your why. So many of you have probably heard, I need my why, I need my why, I need my why. Find your why. So if you have not done this, oh my goodness, today, sit down, find your why, because all of these questions, all of these things, all of these situations coming up in your life, you can sit back and you can say, I am doing this for this. I am doing this for this. And I also want to make sure that you know that your why is not necessarily aligned with your goals, and it shouldn't have a financial focus. Your why should be bigger than you. It should be something impactful for other people. It needs to be something outside of yourself and not monetary, because if it is monetary and if it is aligned with yourself, you will most likely give up and the why is not strong enough. So those are my two things. Make sure that it's not monetary and that it's outside of yourself. Sorry, I write in cursive, so that might get a little crazy. For me, my why kind of rolls into number 2, legacy. So if you got into commercial real estate because you wanted to get rich really quick, you wanted to drive the Lamborghini, you wanted to have the millions and millions and millions of portfolio back to your name, and you want to be sitting on a nice hot beach somewhere, that's great. But if it doesn't happen or life gets hard, you will most likely fail. And so I really like to shift my mindset to legacy. And again, this is a part of your why. To me, it's a little bit smaller than your why because it is a little bit more just personal. But it doesn't have to be. Legacy can be a part of your why, but I like to separate it because it doesn't actually have to be the same one. And for me, it really helps me to stick with my why and to align myself with legacy, because now I know that everything I'm doing today, everything I'm working on and learning and putting myself through, I'm actually jumping my children years in advance of the opportunities that I had. And so the things that I'm learning, I'm then teaching my kids. And so they're not starting at where I started. So it's not just passing down assets. It's passing down a quality of life. It's passing down knowledge that you have aligned yourself with to get to where you are. And so for me, I find that so powerful, because if what I'm doing today isn't affecting me or isn't being built or created or going into my bank account today, I know that it's going to be massively supportive and helpful for my children. And they are going to be wildly ahead of even the people that they go to school with, like what they're learning and being in front of, not many people are. And so just realize that even though you're surrounded by a lot of commercial real estate investors, and you kind of talk about it on a regular basis, the majority of the population doesn't. And so as you are putting this into your life, having this quality of life and handing it down to your kids, you are leveling them up. And for me, that's really powerful. And it keeps me growing and expanding and pushing through the hard times, to teach them, how to not go through that and do it a little bit differently. I'm also going to say, people always say, when was the best time to invest in real estate? And you will get one of two, well, you get lots of answers, but some of the more popular answers are 20 years ago or today. So I always say, you won't regret it in 20 years. So if you are sitting there and you have lost another offer, and you're just doing it, you're like, man, I've been doing this for 2 years. I underwrote multifamily properties for 2 years. And it's frustrating. It's full time. You spend 6 months on a deal just to get, to have someone come in, hire, final invest in someone else's final invest, and so you lose that opportunity, and you look back and you're like, wow, like what did I do the last 6 months? And so it can get a little bit overwhelming, where you put in all of this time and work and effort, and if you don't actually close, you feel like you didn't complete anything. But I really want to focus on the process that got you there. Do you feel like you learned more, gained more, have a better understanding of how the process works, the underwriting, the talking to vendors, the touring the property, connecting to investors? Like, do you feel like you actually gained something from that experience, even though you didn't actually win the deal? So obviously we want to win the deal. We want our portfolio to expand, but to make sure that every step you're taking in your real estate career is a part of your real estate career, even if it's not connected to like a dollar point, or a property. So just remember that what will your life experience, knowledge, everything look like in 20 years if you plant that seed today? So, like I said, everyone always says, when's the best time to invest in real estate? This aligns with your mindset because they're thinking, oh, I've missed my window, or it's too crazy right now. Right now is not the time. I'm going to wait. So this question aligns with your mindset. Today is the best day. Because in 20 years, you're going to sit there and say, I should have done it 20 years ago. But then in 20 years, they're going to say, start today. So that's why I say, align this with your mindset, kind of get it out of your head and know that now is your time. Now is the time to do it. And definitely check out my other video of which real estate market is the best and which one to invest in, because that will help you move forward with this one right here. Also, just knowing that commercial assets take years. It's just, things are definitely changing. But if you look around and you look look at a lot of commercial brokers, there are a lot of very old individuals. That's because commercial investing, it takes years. That's why some of the younger individuals that you see, they probably had parents who were in real estate or commercial real estate. And so like I talked about your legacy, they probably already had that foundation. And so they're able to start young. So definitely don't compare yourself to the young individuals. If you're young, great, like hop into it because you are starting a forever lifestyle and career. But just know that commercial real estate takes years. It takes a lot to find a property, but commercial real estate can take 3 months just to close. So that doesn't count negotiations, underwriting, due diligence. It doesn't count any of the work you've done prior to the closing process. It could take 3 months to close. Once you close on that property, it takes 6 months to a year, if not longer, to reposition it over to your property management company and stabilize it with your new business model, because commercial they're each individual businesses. So it's nothing crazy quick, and it doesn't happen overnight. Nothing happens overnight. If you think someone got rich from commercial overnight, Um, Definitely switch your mindset because nothing happens overnight. They have been massively working towards that, and it finally just happened. Their years and years and years of work has clicked. So nothing happens overnight, and most commercial takes years to either stabilize or even get into commercial real estate. So I'm just going to end by saying that your mind is a powerful thing, but just know that one wrong deal can break you. So I know that many of you, I shouldn't say that. Some of you might be frustrated because you haven't gotten a deal yet, or you're passively in some deals and you really want to be active, and it's getting frustrating because you're doing all the underwriting, you're doing all the education, you're doing everything, and you can't seem to break through. Just know that it's either your intuition is coming in. Definitely listen to yourself. There could be an educational piece that's missing. So maybe you need to align yourself with a coach, a mentor, or a partner that can help you get past that moment. But my point is reassess what is going on. Don't go into your mind because it isn't you. But there's so many steps to investing in commercial real estate. And so identify those steps. And I'm more than happy. We should actually have a video on that as well. Identify those steps and see which one you don't feel connected to or is aligning, and realize that it's a blessing because one wrong deal in commercial real estate can break you financially, mentally, everything. So I'm going to quickly, I have two examples really quick. I have one friend from high school who's wildly successful. And her husband started two companies, and one company became wildly successful. And the other one didn't. His other company helped pay for the other one. And when you think about that, if the failed company would have come first, what would that have done to him? You know, that would have destroyed him mentally, financially, emotionally, everything would have been wiped out. But instead, the other one came first. And so he had that opportunity to more easily have confidence, knowledge, experience, everything within a company. So when the other one came around, it didn't break him. He was able to reassess it, see what wasn't working, fund it with his successful company, and get it to a point where he could sell it or turn it around. So it's amazing how he then had the mindset strong enough to be able to uplift a failed opportunity. So I want to bring this up because so many of us are so focused on getting our legacy started and getting a deal done. But if we're getting frustrated, we're mentally already getting drained. And so if we have one wrong deal, that could break us. And it shouldn't happen because there's so much real estate out there, and there's so much real estate that can set you up so much higher than you are right now and provide you an opportunity you never thought you could have, even just one or two deals. And so don't force a deal. Another example is we're passively invested in a deal that's doing very horrible, but it's a team that we assess the team, we know them personally, the syndication team, and they have an amazing track record. They have an amazing resume, and they have over a dozen deals that they're invested in. And this is the only deal that is just not performing on every level. They have had everything under the sun happen because in real estate, anything can happen. There's legalities against the city, legalities with like tenant issues. Obviously they had COVID stuff. They had random unforeseen repairs needed. They had a management company that they had a long history relationship with that destroyed the operations and occupancy of their facility. I mean, so it was just something on top of the other. But if they didn't already have their other deals, this one deal would have broken them. And so mindset is so important. And so I really want to point that out because there are bad deals. And so if you're getting frustrated because you're not getting in a deal or you don't have enough deals, realize that maybe there's a piece missing that you probably should spend more time on learning. Maybe there's a piece missing in the underwriting that is saving you from not getting into one of these deals that would just break you before you started. Or again, there could just be an educational gap. Definitely find a mentor or a coach that can help you break it all down and see where maybe you should start focusing on instead, because you do not want this to happen. If you're getting frustrated at this point and you haven't had a deal yet, we want to make sure that this doesn't happen. So mindset is powerful, 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 powerful. And you don't have had to have a successful deal to be able to work through those challenges and those problem properties. You just have to have the mindset and the confidence that you know you can get through it, and that you step up and you take ownership of the problem and you use it as a learning experience to grow and expand and turn a property around. It's easier for mindset and financial reasons to have already had success in the commercial space when something goes sour, but it's not impossible to actually work through all those challenges if it is your first deal. My point was that it comes down to your mindset. And so don't force a deal because you want that portfolio. You want to be validated in your work, because if you're already feeling like you need all those things, your mindset is already a little off, and we want to work on that mindset, because you shouldn't be buying property to feel validated. You shouldn't buy property because you're desperate for money. If you're buying property and getting into commercial real estate for a negative reason, this is gonna shift your alignment with what your goals really should be. And a lot of times these situations arise. So I say mindset is super powerful. Again, know your why. Your why. You want it to be not monetary, and you want it to be bigger, outside of yourself. Number 2, legacy. I love this one, outside of your why, because for me it's extra powerful, because I'm designing a quality of life for my children. And to me, that's just really powerful for me. And it doesn't align with my why. And you won't regret it in 20 years. Pushing through and dealing with everything right now, working and everything, and realizing that everything you're doing will make a difference in 20 years. It will make a difference. So realize the process, the education, and what you're gaining from everything today, and it will totally define you in a different way in 20 years. It's very powerful. Commercial assets take years. Don't get in it for a quick, rich scheme. It is not aligned with getting rich quick. It is not an overnight situation. It takes years. And just know that if you haven't gotten a deal, or if your portfolio hasn't exploded into something crazy huge, just know and be grateful, because one wrong deal is a lot harder to shift your mindset over than just struggling with actually getting a closed deal or finding a deal that you can underwrite. So that mindset we can work with. A bad deal, that is a lot more strength in your mindset than just not getting a deal. So I hope this was helpful. Again, comment below and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. Again, mindset is so powerful, and it's how you're going to create your true success in your commercial real estate company. So stay tuned for the next video.